My name is Soledad. I am from Argentina. I am a teacher. I work both at a school and an institute, but I am also a journalist. So over the weekends, I report football matches. And I have also worked for a long time in a newspaper, a radio station, and also at an entertaining company. I am a mother. I have a daughter. She's 12 years old. Her name is Paz. Paz is a beautiful word because her name means peace. What we one of the key values globally all over the world. And well, we live in Puerto Madryn in the south of Argentina. We have a beautiful beach full of whales now, and well, I am very happy to be working with students who are teenagers and also adults this year. And well, that's my a bit of my present time.
Yes.
So if you have questions about
Yes, yes,
any other
yes.
topics, of course, I will be
Soledad,
happy to.
Soledad,
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. My name is Padmaja. I am a 7th grader from Dilla Parshit School, Ailavaram. Now, I would like to ask you a question. Can I ask, ma'am?
Yes, sure. Hello, Padmasha. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks, ma'am. How innovatively do you teach English?
Yes. Well, differently. I mean, I consider myself a creative teacher because I come from another side of teaching. I mean, I was first a journalism student, so I studied communication. And after a while, I decided to start working in classrooms because I felt like it was my stage. I have fun when I share a space with other people and when we get to collaborate. So in a way, it's not like I teach them, but we co-create the content together at the same time. So it's more of we share the knowledge. I mean, teenagers nowadays are so full of new ideas. They're so different from the teens we were when we were younger that it's always changing. Classrooms are constantly changing. So what I do mainly is I plan my lessons at home. I know what I am supposed to teach them every year, each month. But I also look forward always to share fun mornings. I usually see my students in the morning, also some of them in the afternoons and evenings. But the aim is always to have an interesting moment and to take something home. We try not to be bored. We try not to do always the same things. So we are constantly looking for new ways to learn the same usual things. So I don't know if I am too different from your teacher here, but I think that all of the teachers in the world are nowadays trying to be more creative and to share the knowledge and to fulfill the students' expectations and also to create new things in class. So I think that the bottom line here would be I teach differently because I try to be creative each day. So I hope I hope that is an answer to your question. It was
I have a question. So, as being English teachers, you and me are the English teachers. So, among the four folded skills like LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So, among these four folded skills, which skill is highly stressed, emphasized in your country or in your region? For instance, if you take my classroom as an example, I would like to give extra emphasis to speaking because speaking is one of the important components in English language. So today we are grooming the students to be global citizens. In order to become a global citizen, they should have the speaking competency. We should develop the speaking competency among the students. But in our academic curriculum, it emphasizes only listening, writing, reading. These are the only three skills are highly stressed in my region, in my state, in my country. But they highly neglect this speaking area, which is so vital for making the students, for seeing the students to be global citizens. So in your context, in your country context, maybe for your point of view, which skill is highly stressed?
Well, of course, the four of them are super important because we need, I mean, we are helping young people become adults and we want the world to be better. And so I think all of them are highly important, but of course, we want them to be able to communicate fluently and to be able to maintain dialogues with whoever they meet. Doesn't matter the origin or where they come from, and or either the accent, because we try to use English, but all of us have our limitations or our different things and our accents and stuff. But I think that speaking is one of the most important ones, of course, because in the end, real life happens when we meet people face to face, and when we want to talk about real life and things that happen to us, not only things that we studied, but I mean, what we feel, what we're going through, things we are facing and trying to overcome. So in the end, I feel like it's, I mean, much more important to be able to enable our students and empower them to be able to communicate freely about whatever they want to talk with whoever they meet. And yes, of course, reading is very important. Writing well is also a very, very core thing. But well, you know, when you meet someone at any moment, you are on a plane, you are at an airport, you are walking down the shore on a beautiful beach, and you meet somebody and you want to talk about who you are, and you want to ask questions and get to know interesting people. And I think that's when magic happens. So the most important thing is that we empower our students to be able to be themselves in any language. And I think English is the lingua franca. It's the one that most of the world wants to talk. And that is why doing, or I mean, this kind of thing that you, Hari, are doing is very, very nice. And I think it's a very powerful tool to, in order to achieve that goal of enabling students to communicate wonderfully at speaking.
Okay, thank you so much, Saridad. Saridad, you have an advantage being an English teacher, being a journalist. So you are actually playing a dual role as a teacher, as a journalist. So how advantage it is to be a journalist in teaching profession?
Well, it's a wonderful combination. I never thought, I mean, in the past, when I was a student at college, I never thought I would end up combining or mixing these two things. But it's wonderful because, I mean, we take, I take to the classroom real news, things that are happening currently in the world, and we discuss those topics. And it's not only about what books say or the usual things. So that makes it a bit more interesting. And I also let the kids bring their own or their own interests and maybe suggest new topics so that we can go through the curriculum, but adding up other things that make those meetings more successful, more nurturing. But yeah, I think that it's a very good combo, a very good combination. Being a journalist and being a teacher is, in the end, a very happy job for me. And I do a bit of both, or sometimes both at the same time. And of course, as we live in a small town, I usually meet up with my students when I am reporting football matches, and it's fun. I mean, in the end, we're all human beings, and we live in the same community. And it's very nice that after they finish school, we keep meeting up, and we all become well, we are all global citizens. We all become citizens, and I mean, we share all the values and the things that we learned at school. So I guess that if I hadn't studied journalism, but I had done something else, like, I don't know, being a doctor, it would also be great to combine it with teaching, because it's always, I mean, everything that you can add to what you already know will be helpful at some point. So I just think that I was lucky.
Yes, thank you so much, Soledad. And Gayatri, over to you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Gayatri, an 8th grader from Jilla Parishad High School, Ailavaram. I am so jubilant to interact with you. Here, I would like to ask you a question. Can I ask, ma'am?
Yes, sure.
What is school day like in your country?
We can choose between two shifts. One is in the morning and the other one in the afternoon. Kids go to school about, from 8 to 1 at some schools, and maybe a couple extra hours in the afternoon for other extracurricular activities. And as soon as they get to school, the first thing they do, or the first thing we do, is honor our flag. So we all get together, and the principal usually says a few words, and we do this ceremony about our national flag. And after that, sometimes they can share the news, sometimes there are no news to share, so we just get into the classrooms. And well, once in the classrooms, students have different subjects, usually maths, literature, social sciences, biology, geography, history, also, of course, English, or at some schools they can also choose French, but only those two languages as second language. Our mother tongue is Spanish, and at secondary school, students get to learn English or French, but not Italian, not Portuguese, and certainly not other languages. When it's noon, they usually have, over the morning, they have a couple breaks to maybe have breakfast, relax a bit, but they are short breaks. And when it's noon, sometimes they go home for lunch, or sometimes they stay at school. But our schools currently are not offering meals, which is sad, because some families could use that help. But well, our country is going through a very rough crisis, so the resources have been cut down a little bit. But anyway, after that, they go home, and sometimes they come back to school for the workshops. Some other times they stay home and they just do other activities that each family chooses for the kids, or the kids make their own choices. But usually the second shift in the afternoon begins at 1 and ends at around 6 p.m. And at this time of year, which is we're almost in winter, when they get out of school at 6, it's already night time. So kids go home. What else can I tell you? Some kids, or most of them, when they are lucky enough, practice sports after school or out of school. But also in the curriculum, we've got physical education, which involves playing football, playing volleyball, basketball, and in some schools they can also go swimming. What else can I tell you about the school day? Well, of course, the kids have to do the homework at home and study, because it's not enough. When you're at school, you learn, you practice and stuff, but then you have to continue doing your job when you are at home in another environment, with your family. But usually it works like that. And teachers end up super tired. So when we get home, we also spend time with our relatives, with our children. And I usually help my daughter with her homework from school and to study, because she has started secondary school this year. So we are working hard together to make the most out of that.
Okay, thank you so much, Sarga. Teacher as a sports coach also, I think. Am I right? Yes, mother and journalist. Oh my God, you are doing an amazing job, playing different multiple roles as a person is something which is unusual for any educator to see. It is you, I think, hats off to you.
Wow, you're gonna make me. I'm so moved by your words. It's true. Now that I am listening to you talking about my life, and it's true, I do so many things.
Yes,
Wow, yeah, being a mother is a great job. It really demands a lot of your time and your energy, just like the same happens with teaching. So it's like you never stop being an educator. It's 24/7. And well, sometimes I don't know how to, when I'm helping my daughter, it's like I'm still the teacher. So it's, but anyway, it's a wonderful thing being able to be there for her. And yes, it's a never-ending task. I mean, when you're an educator, you begin your day being one, and you end your day or planning things. And it's also very important to be able to relax at some point. That's why I really give time and space to exercise, and I love activity that is free. I don't spend much money on it. You can do it whenever you can. You don't need to respect a schedule. I mean, whenever you have a free hour, you can just put on your sneakers and run a bit, and it will help you oxygen and think better. So I think it's a really cool, a really wonderful tool that is available for anyone in the world, wherever you live. Even if it's cold, if it's too hot, you can still run. But of course, you always need to drink water and also sleep well and eat well. But I mean, yeah, it's a lot of things. I don't know how I do so many things on my own, but because also I raised my daughter on my own. We have been together as a, we are partners with my daughter, and it's been almost 13 years now, and it's possible. It is possible. You can do anything
yes,
that that you imagine. I mean, it's just a matter of will. When this is a wonderful phrase that a friend of mine taught me once, and I hope that you can remember it. It's
please,
very easy.
please.
When there is a will, there is a way.
Absolutely.
So if there is a will, if you really want to achieve something, if you really have a goal and you know where you're going, you will find a way to do it. Of course, at the end of the week, I'm usually very, very tired. That's why today I overslept a bit. I'm not going to lie to you. I slept a bit more because yesterday we attended a congress for schools as well, and it ended at night. So we began the day at 7:30 a.m. at school, and we ended it at 9 p.m. at a university with the same colleagues, the same group from the same school. So it was a very hard day, but we learned a lot of things that then we will take into our classrooms. And the idea is always to help kids, to help the youth, teenagers like your students, like you guys here today, to have more tools and more knowledge available for your future, so that you are happier people, that you can achieve your goals, that everything that you're dreaming of becoming nowadays, that you get there. That if you want to be a doctor, you become a good doctor. If you want to be a lawyer, you become a great lawyer. If you want to be a teacher, you become a great teacher, because that is our goal, to guide you or be with you so that you can be the adult that you dreamt of.
Yeah, thank you so much. Jessica,
Good morning,
Hi.
ma'am. My name is Jessica. I am an 8th grader from ZPHS School, Ailavara. I am so honored to interact with you. I would like to ask you a question. Can I ask, ma'am?
Please do so.
What is the retirement age in your country? Are you paid well?
Great. Well, the retirement age in Argentina nowadays is around 65 years old for women. And it depends. I mean, the payment depends on the job that you are doing. So, regarding teaching, which is my job nowadays, and it will be forever, and it has been for a long time. I mean, it's not very well paid, unfortunately, due to many different reasons that have to do with different governments, different ideas, and mainly, I think it is due to the crisis that the whole country is going through, and we need to be patient in order to overcome this phase. So, of course, other jobs like I don't know, physicians, politicians, or doctors get a better payment when they retire. But what we teachers do in order to be able to have a good quality of life is we usually have more than one job. And that is why I usually uh, do football matches over the weekends, or we also tutor online when we are at home. I mean, there are always other options in order to have a better salary. But yeah, unluckily, educators don't get paid very well in Argentina nowadays. But I am hopeful and I am positive. I stay optimistic, and I think that at some point things will be better, because it is such an important job, such an important thing. I mean, every doctor in the world, every politician, every president has had teachers who were there all the way. And I mean, there are lots of people struggling to change things so that educators in general can have a better salary at some point. So I stay optimistic, you know.
Yes.
Things are gonna be better soon, and so we have to hold on now, be strong, and keep working hard. But yeah, so the age of retirement is around 65 years old. It's a long way there. I still have lots of years to work hard, so I don't even think about retiring nowadays.
Yes.
This is Nandikishore, an 8th grade student from ZPHS Alavaram. Now, I would like to ask a question. Here, my question is: what is the typical food of Argentina?
Hi, nice to meet you. All right, the typical food of Argentina. We have so many different dishes because, of course, we love food. But I think the most popular one is asado. As you heard it, asado is barbecue. People love getting together on Sundays at noon, and they cook. I don't know if this must be different, but barbecue is meat, mainly meat and vegetables, and they grill it on a big fire, and that takes like hours to be cooked, and it's like a ritual. Families share Sunday noons, and they eat this asado every week as it's a very expensive thing to do now, but it's like the most popular dish. But we also love eating pasta, Italian food, and there are lots of vegetarian and vegan people now. So, and I eat mainly, I don't eat much meat. So we also eat lots of grilled veggies and other things. Um, Something that is also very popular now here is Mexican food, spicy food, but we usually take dishes from other countries. So if at some point you want to share a typical dish or a recipe with us, it would be great, so that I can teach my students and show them something typical from your country. But yes, barbecue is one of the most popular dishes in my country.
This session, could you please give a final message? But before that, could you please introduce one or two Spanish words to my students?
Ooh, Spanish words. Okay. Spanish words. Let me think of a good one for you. Um, it should be a word that teenagers use, because you are between your, I mean, you're 15 years old.
Yeah, these guys, these
13?
students are, these are all 20, 13, 14, 15.
13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I should have asked my daughter, but because teenagers use words that adults don't understand. So sometimes when I'm talking to my daughter, she uses words and I'm like, what did you just say? I don't, so she has to translate to me. But hola is the word that we use to say hello. Nos vemos, 2 words. Nos vemos is what we say when it's like, see you later, alligator. And instead of saying cool, like teenagers in the States, when something is nice, or, I mean, when something is cool, we say copado, copado. Like,
Copalo,
that is so cool. That is so copado. Yes, copado.
Copalo,
Yes,
Copalo.
copado. And also something that I have to tell you about Argentinians is that there's a very famous word, but it's bit of a bad word, but sometimes amongst friends, they call each other boludo. But it's not a word that you want to learn. It's not a word that you want to take out of context, because if you tell that, if you say that to a stranger, it might be taken as an offense. So forget that one. Remember hola, which is hello, nos vemos, which is see you later, and copado, which is cool.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine.
Hello, ma'am. This is my mother. I am in 7th grade from GPHS School, Alavaram. I would like to ask you a question, ma'am. Can I ask?
Sure.
Here, my question is, what kind of schools are popular in your country? Public or private?
Good question. Well, I mean, both types of schools are popular because we are so many people in Argentina that there are kids. I mean, schools are always full, but it depends on each family. In my case, nowadays, my daughter goes to a private one because we live in a small town, and all of the public schools are so full and with waiting lists that we had to choose the one that was near home, and one that we knew a bit about. So she's going to the same school that where I studied when I was her age. And I am very happy about that, because it is a very good one. But both private and public schools are really good. Only that, of course, for private ones, you have to pay a very high amount of money monthly. But I mean, it depends on each family in terms of the economy that they have. But what I know is that all of the schools are full of students, full of kids attending, and yeah, so they are both popular.
Yes, thank you so much. Message.
Oh, okay, I give you a message. Well,
Yeah.
wow. I think that it is important that it's very important that you keep studying, that you keep attending school, I mean, being grateful for what you have, for the wonderful teachers that you have in front of you every day. I only know Hari here, but I guess that you must be surrounded by excellent people, because I have learned a lot about your country and your culture, and I know that you are hardworking people, and that you love learning, and that you love improving, and that you have big dreams and big goals to achieve, and that is such a great thing in life. So my message would be that you keep being hopeful and hardworking and grateful for what you have every day, and that you know that even though things are sometimes hard or very different, we have to stay strong and keep working for our dreams, because dreams become true when they are good ones. And you have to learn as much as you can from people like Hari here, and your parents, and other people around you who are really, really warm-hearted and cool. And at some point you will be the adults guiding our other kids. And I mean, the world is changing a lot, but you have to keep working hard to achieve those goals that you dream of today. So that's my humble message for you. And